right now we're talking about the vibrational origin of signs, sigils, and numbers. Because check this out. This becomes really, really important to know because it's important for you to understand how energy transitions for your own. It's important for you to understand that these things, words, numbers, letters are all handy downs of a vibration. And a vibration, whatever was emitting that vibe first, that was the real starting point that scientists even go back to remake their observation. So what am I talking about? A sign, sigil, or a number. A sign, sigil, or number is just a mathematical precision of how energy transition in time, because we're all in time. You can see that throughout time, the earth is transformed, is terraformed by its surrounding. Whatever we're calling space, whatever we're calling the stars around us, that's what's influencing this environment that we call Earth, Tiamat, Gaia, the fourth element. That's what's really influencing. So when we understand where these signs, these signs and sigils and numbers that the Jews are utilizing, and the American motherfuckers is utilizing, and really all these motherfuckers is utilizing, we can start to understand a more powerful language, which is vibrationese, understanding the language of vibes. How do things vibe? Because check this out. I'm about to teach you a sign, a sigil, real goddamn quick, so you can start to understand what do I mean by tracking the passage of time, which is how spirits move throughout time. So we can start to understand how we can bring those things back again, because all humanity is related. When you understand one thing, you can start to relate that understanding to a whole lot of things. Then you start to create denominations, religions, cultures, sciences, math, blah blah blah, and all that. So check this out. This is a sign and sigil right here that a lot of people figured out throughout time and marketed it through their own way. I don't know who came up with it first, and I could care less. So now, number one, number two. If we go back to the Jewish alphabet, we're going to use the Aleph and the Beth. And we're going to use the in the Arabic system, the Aleph and the Ba, which is all the same thing. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to show you how these energies create a triangle and how these energies come together to create a new energy, and how your spirit is none of those things, and it's actually just observing the transition of those things. So check this out. Boom, 1. So everybody has ideas. So that's why someone was like, yeah, Aleph, the Ba, Aleph. Yeah, everybody has an idea about the world. Oh, okay. So everybody has their own masculine idea about the world. So that's why someone made the number 1, because everybody was like, oh, okay. Everyone has ideas about the world. This is what's really going on. I'm showing you what's really going on behind the scenes, because not a lot of people know how to observe the hidden world within the world. So boom, Aleph. Then Beth, which is a house, a feminine energy to receive the masculine energy. Dick always goes inside pussy. So masculine energy is received by feminine energy. But this is an internal process. I'm showing you the external things as well, so you can start to understand how this is related to everything. So boom. Positive charge is received by negative charge. They come together. See, can they equalize? Can they create an equalize? And if these things, if there's fire and there's water, this masculine and feminine, these 1 and 2, they can equalize each other. Boom, a new element can be born, which is steam, which is air. So astrologically, fire would represent externalization, seeing the feeling, because the fire signs are the seer of the feelings. So it's a masculine expression of the feeling. Feminine, water, is more the receiver of the feeling. They hold on to the feelings and things like that, like similar to the feminine nature. So now when these two natures inside of us come together, and this is also symbolized by the mathematical or the scientific finding of a left brain and a right brain, boom, you also start to understand, oh, I use my right brain to connect to things, and my left brain is for objective. Oh, okay, masculine and feminine. So you see, this is a sign and sigil for you to understand things on a deeper level and on a higher level. So boom, this is where the sigil of a triangle even came from. Someone said, oh, okay, so if I can bring my 1 and 2 together, my feminine and masculine, and I'm not exhausting myself to fall for either of those, I'm not being too emotional, because being too emotional, you can't do anything. Oh, I feel this way about the world. I'm ugly. I don't know what's good for me. I need my friend. I need Jesus. I need God. Oh my god. And then you're not too masculine. You're not like, yeah, I'm a bad motherfucker. I'm gonna go to war by myself, yo. And I'm gonna kill 100 soldiers by myself. Masculine alpha right here. My idea. But I'm not relating it to no female, because I don't need no damn feelings. Boom, you go to battle and die. So you just failed to equalize yourself. So you just went too far on either polar shifts, and you got punished for that. When I was a little baby and I cried a lot, my dad would slap the fuck out of me. Not when I was a baby, but when I was older. He'd be like, why is you crying? Because I'm being into my feminine nature, and he's being too much into his masculine nature. So now we have two people on an extreme polar shift trying to create an equilibrium, but you're supposed to do that inside of yourself. So this is where the symbol of the triangle came from. It's about taking these two elements and bringing them together so you can create a third new element. Because your spirit is actually no thing. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Your spirit is nothing. It's just creating those things. So your spirit said, oh, okay, I want to have an idea. Yeah, and I have a feeling about this. But your spirit is nothing. It's none of those things. You just created those things to participate in them. I said, oh, okay, if I can equalize these things, I can create a logic, an observation of those two energies that I was in and didn't get lost in. So your spirit is just observing these things. It's not your thoughts and feelings that you're creating. Your spirit is not that. Those are just sigils, which come from vibrations, because you experience vibrations inside of you. Now, a lot of these vibrations that you experience inside of you have been taken by psychologists and universities and coined and put into terms so that you don't wonder what's going on. You know what I mean? Someone else reached that conclusion for you, but someone else gave you their worldview, how they see the world. Motherfucker, there's so many ways you can look at the world. There's so many mathematical systems that you can use. There's so many formats of algebra. But you have to understand, we're all just trying to reach a conclusion. So it doesn't matter what sign and sigil you created to reach that conclusion. The sign and sigil is nothing but a tracking system for you to understand how to track, how to get to that conclusion again. So boom. So they got all these, like, let's say, rituals in the Egyptian mysteries, in the Greek mysteries, in the Dionysus mysteries, in any mysteries of the mysteries of the mystery of the mistresses, or whatever the fuck. And they keep sacred text and record of mathematical precisions, which is rituals and spells that help you understand how to get to that point of being a pharaoh, how to get to the point of being a king, how to get to the point of ruling over people. Shit like that, basically. You becoming more aware than the people around you, so you can, you know what I'm saying, do whatever the fuck you want type of shit. Because when you know how to observe something for yourself, you don't need someone else's system. Now you know how to get that same observation. Because the same way you make a nuke, the same conclusion you reach to make a nuke is not the same process. The Russians might have done it different to make a nuke. The French might have done it different to make a nuke. But motherfuckers, they made a nuke. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's about knowing how to reach the conclusion for yourself. So when you see a sign, a number, a sigil, understand that these are the markings of time of vibration. And then when you know how to group these things together, you can start to create spells, rituals. You can start to create, you know what I'm saying, all types of Hadoukens, spiritual attack wave, to the point where you can bring down something, create letters for it, and describe it and be like, yeah, that's Allah. And then everyone starts going crazy. Yeah, that's God. Because everybody back then was trying to find out the what's the name of God? What's the infallible name? Because they thought there was a word, a vibration that they spoke that was gonna, like, enlighten the world, or, you know what I'm saying, give them power over everybody. But that name was just the process and the transition of how spirits move through time to create environmental changes in the world. So when you have a society like Egypt, was an agricultural and one of the most spiritual society there in that time, because the prime meridian was in Egypt at that time as well. That's why people were coming there. Yeah, the priests in Egypt was doing the same thing. They was understanding, creating allegorical mathematical precisions about how the sun traveled through the freaking ecliptic belt and goes through the signs of the zodiac, and what effect does it have on that period of time. Because based on that, that's how they made their money, bro. That's how they hustled all these niggas in Egypt. That's how they hustled all these niggas, bro. A farmer would be like, oh, well, you know, wise priest, what time should I harvest my crop this time of the year because God is communicating with you, but he's not communicating with me. But no, they understood the true science was astronomy back then. And when you insert astronomy, then you can make astrology. Because astrology comes from the mathematical precision of where these bodies of waters and these stars are at a point of time. So when you know how to bring these things together, you know how to create an allegory, then boom, people will see you as like someone who's communicating with God. Because you just use real mathematical precision, like I showed you earlier, left brain, right brain, alpha, beta, idea, feeling, comes here to create a solution. So idea, problem, solution. That's where that mythos, Greek bullshit came from. It's older than Greece. It's from Sumeria, the Chaldeans, a whole lot of shit. Whole lot of societies, yo. Whole lot of niggas was doing this way before we was doing it. We're just picking up what was there already. So boom. So the springtime started in Aries. That's why they had the ram. Something pushing its horns up. Right? Because the sun is being brought up type of shit. So you got Aries the ram starting the morning here. Going through Taurus, Gemini. And then you got Cancer time. So the crab is descending from the sky type of shit. Because the sun is now coming back around into another rotation, into another 90 degree, and things like that. So when you start to understand signs and sigils and numbers and what is the vibrational significance of them, because there's no point of looking at a sign and sigil without knowing the vibrational equivalent of it, because that's where it came from. Next thing you know, you've always been doing these vibrations. You've always been observing these vibrations. You've always been observing these energies. But you're so dependent on someone else's system of how they observe energy and how energy moves that you can't create a new mathematical precision. You see what I'm saying? And we they ain't create nothing new. They ain't create nothing new. Everything they have, we was already doing. So understand that a sign and a sigil is nothing but a recording of how energy is transitioning. It's nothing but a recording of how energy is transitioning. We're just marking the passage of time, so we can start to understand how these energies transition. And you can take a small concept like an idea, problem, solution, a triangle, and that can go into so many other concepts, so many other, like real shit, so many other realities and realms, because the mind has infinity potential, and it's things like that. So when you look at a number, for example, like the number 9, and you multiply the number 9 times 2 equals 18, 1 plus 8 equals 9. So a number like 9, no matter how many times you multiply it, you will always come back to the same conclusion: 9. Why? Because 9 is pointing towards evolution of the self. It's pointing towards the evolution. It's a spiral rotating in. That's what 9 really is. It's a spiral rotating in. So it's marking you going into yourself and reaching a new conclusion. You being able to create new energy, create new paths for yourself to experience and go through. So understand where these things come from. These things come from vibrations. You're vibrating, I'm vibrating. The better psychologist knows how to put a term on that, and they can begin to see that happening throughout a lot of people. Boom, that's a way for them to make money. But if you just understand what's going on with yourself, because you're dealing with yourselves, you're dealing with your own thoughts, you're dealing with your own feelings. When you start to deal with that, then you're not going to need a psychologist. It's like the University of Psychology head, whatever the fuck their name is, they're going to go broke because we figured out how to do for ourselves. So now they got to create a new idea, some better way, depending on who's taking over that system in the world of healing people. Because they try to use psychology, dude, but that's bullshit. That's not real. That doesn't work. That barely works. So, yeah. Signs and sigils, that's the origins of them. And that's it. Don't go no further than that. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to see y'all on the next video.